I am Lady T, in for Citizen T, reality first. Most people are living inside a financial system they never chose and barely understand. Not because they're unintelligent, but because the system was built to function smoothly only when people don't question it. The Matrix didn't need your consent, it needed your compliance. Our world isn't that different. Here's the truth, you can't escape a system you can't see, and you can't win inside a system whose rules you don't understand. That's where the Matrix becomes more than a movie. It becomes a mirror. Neo didn't gain power because he fought harder. He gained power because he finally understood the code behind the world he lived in. That brings us to today's core financial principle. Understanding is liberation. Not motivation, not passion, not hustle, understanding. Because once you've seen the underlying rules, how money moves, how value is captured, how ownership compounds, you don't go back. The lie can't hold you anymore. Now let's talk about the constraints of our real-world matrix. Time is limited. Bills are constant. Inflation eats the edges. Emergencies hit without warning. And institutions rarely reward people for waking up. The wage-only world wasn't designed to feed you, it was designed to use you. That's not drama, that's just the architecture. And while structural change is slowly, painfully making its way through the pipes, new models of shared value, new forms of worker power, new conversations about ownership, none of it moves fast enough for the average person's daily life. You can't wait for the system to be fixed. You have to operate inside the system as it is. This is where your agency returns. You control whether you learn enough to see the code, not all at once, not perfectly, but clearly enough to stop being manipulated by complexity. You control whether you build a buffer that lets you say no to the bad things. Because the Matrix tightens its grip the moment you have no margin. You control whether you automate your contributions, whether you avoid lifestyle creep, whether you stack skills that move with you. You control whether you rely on hope or structure. Think of Morpheus. His real power wasn't combat. His power was perspective. He understood the system well enough to bend the world inside it. That's what financial literacy does. It lets you bend the system, not with tricks or timing, but with clarity, slow discipline, and durable habits. Let's apply the metaphor. The red pill. In financial terms, the red pill is simple. Real wealth doesn't come from income. It comes from ownership of assets, skills, systems, and claims on future value. People trapped in the wage-only loop are like humans in pods, working, producing, generating value, receiving none of it back. The moment you see that, you can't unsee it. The agents. In our world, agents aren't men in suits. They're debt, impulse spending, high interest, contracts you didn't read, jobs that raise your workload instead of your pay, policies that shift without warning. They adapt, they correct, they chase you the moment you start improving. You don't outrun them by being faster. You outrun them by being structurally prepared. The architect represents the institutions that set the rules. They're not evil, they're efficient. Their job is stability, not fairness. OBP sits in the background here, quietly. A different blueprint, a different system architecture. One where value doesn't evaporate into the ceiling but circulates through the people who create it. But while that future builds itself, slowly, painfully, you still have to live inside the old world. That's where resilience matters. Trinity is discipline, quiet, consistent, precise. She doesn't posture, she executes. Your financial life needs that Trinity energy, a simple plan, a protected margin, a refusal to panic when the system shakes. The Nebuchadnezzar. That ship is your financial infrastructure. It doesn't have to be fast or beautiful, it has to survive. 3 components matter: a budget you can actually follow, a savings structure that protects your margin, an investment plan simple enough to execute under stress, not glamorous, but it keeps you alive. Now let's talk about your future inside this metaphor. Once Neo understood the code, he stopped dodging bullets, and they started bending around him. Financial understanding does the same thing. Once you understand interest, debt cycles, ownership, vesting, taxes, and long-term incentives, suddenly the bullets slow down. You're not scrambling. You're choosing. You're not reacting to the system. You're navigating it. And when the future finally shifts, when OBP becomes normalized, when workers have access to real upside, when value begins to circulate differently, the people who thrive will be the ones who trained inside the old simulation. Because structure multiplies opportunity, and preparation multiplies the structure. Now, if you're finding value in these breakdowns, like and subscribe. It tells the algorithm that intelligence still has an audience. Let's close with this. The Matrix didn't imprison people with chains. It imprisoned them with illusions. Most of those illusions still exist today. That wages alone will save you, that working harder leads to security, that the old system will eventually fix itself. It won't. But you can fix your position inside it. Start small. Learn the code. Build your margin. Prepare for the future you're eventually going to enter. Because once you can see the system, truly see it, you can shape your place within it. We are Citizen T, forge the future. OBP is the way.